I've been thinking, what does Sydney have that I don't have?
Thousands upon thousands of subscribers.
But besides that,
A full head of hair.
Sal,
A sponsor.
a sponsor, Sal, a sponsor. So, in order for us to earn our keep, we're gonna get ourselves a sponsor.
All right.
So I have the sign, and all we gotta do. This is marketing here, Sal. This is marketing. I can put this in a business. They'll see the logo. They'll recognize it right there and say, you know what? They have a sponsor open ship. We'll give them a sponsor. Easy as that. It's marketing. This is action. This is grassroots, Sal. We're going to get sponsored.
All right. Well, we got to do the show first, okay?
Yeah, let's do the show.
All right.
Hello and welcome back to The Economy Lately. I'm Anthony Smith here with the one, the only South Turk.
Hey!
This is episode 11.
11, we made it!
Yeah, you didn't think we were going to make it, but we did.
Uh-huh.
And I'm really liking this setup. This is nice.
Yeah, totally awesome new set, you know?
This is better.
This is better.
This is way better.
You're right, yeah.
So we had to make a few changes for the time being.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
For safety reasons.
Safety reasons.
Because we care about our own health and safety around here.
And they can't cancel us if they can't find us.
Exactly, yeah. And she doesn't know where we are.
She doesn't know.
Yeah.
She doesn't know. She's not going to show up again.
No. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, this is Economy Lately, and we got to talk about the economy. And last week, we had a little thing called GDP that got released. And South, we were right. It moved down and down 0.9%. And so what this means is recession. Although there are plenty of outlets that would say this isn't a recession, or they're changing the definition of what a recession is. And
yeah, don't say the R word. Okay?
I can say it. We're in it.
Okay, all right.
And it's strange because a lot of folks are now wanting to shift the definition of recession. And they're saying that everything's fine. The economy's never been stronger and there's never been a better time in the US. And it's like they actually watched that episode we did a few weeks back and believed it.
Yeah, you're right. It's like we're influencers.
Are we influencers?
I think we are. I think we get our own free TikTok now.
Do you have to pay for TikTok?
This is how I thought it worked. Is it not?
Do you pay in dignity?
I don't know. I clearly not, because no one has any.
You sound like a boomer.
Okay, all right,
no?
Sorry.
Just a couple of boomers here that haven't caught up, and that's fine. That's okay. You know what else hasn't caught up, Sal?
What?
Job openings. Job openings is our next topic that we have to jump into, because this seems to be the area that a lot of folks are really honed in on. We're looking at this strength in the economy. A lot of the attention is going to the jobs market. And so remember a few weeks ago when we were talking about verbiage that we have to be mindful of?
Oh, yeah, like...
South, that's how we got here in the first place.
Okay, you asked.
But you're right. Let's look at that. As I mentioned, there's some verbiage that we have to be mindful of going into the upcoming quarter here. And that's going to be around outlets reporting some of these numbers. So yeah, that clip, it's happening now. We're still talking about the still high levels. And a lot of people probably will continue to talk about the still high levels until they're not so high anymore. And we're looking at job openings. They're coming down and will likely continue to trend downward throughout the remainder of 2022. Layoffs haven't started skyrocketing just yet, and quits are still elevated, but the shift will start happening. And there's going to be an order of operations for this right now. We're looking at the most recent job openings number. It's now down to 10.7 million from 11.3 million in May. And this is how it's likely going to play out. Job openings will continue to trend downwards. Unemployment rates will start ticking up ever so slightly as initial jobs claims start to come up. This is already happening. Once those job openings drop below a certain threshold, I don't know, let's say around 8.5 million. Let's settle around there. We'll start to see some other shifts come into play as well. Lower quit rates and potentially more layoffs. Layoffs will probably pick up after a significant reduction in openings. There likely is going to be a solid argument for expected strength in the jobs market, especially with the exit of many baby boomers from the workforce. But that may not be enough from keeping the job market strong throughout this current downturn in the economic cycle. And on the other side of this, we have the consumers and their conditions. Looking at consumer conditions, we have record levels of debt and the mystery that is buy now, pay later programs that some may not be able to honor if they're laid off and unable to find a job, and are dealing with, guess what, record low savings rate that we haven't seen in over a decade. The consumers aren't in the best of positions, and a shakeup in the job market will expose them and all of us into really how bad a recession can get. And now it's time for our honorable mention. So we have to talk about an important one, and that is going to be, of course, the ISM PMI that got updated in just about a week ago. And what we saw in that one was that there was a downward movement for a consecutive month, and the new orders component now down to 48 percentage points for new orders. That is concerning. That shows that there's a contraction for new orders component, and that contraction is accelerating. We're also seeing that manufacturers are generally slowing down upstream, and this is also evidenced by South. You want to guess?
There's a start with an F.
Yeah.
Give me an O.
Yeah.
Give me a T.
Yep.
All right, give me another F.
No.
Give me a U, Anthony, U! I'm tired of this!
This faux try.
Ah!
Do you want them to find us South?
Okay, good point. Gotta keep cool.
F is for friends that do things together. U is for you and me.
Okay. All right.
It's
You're right.
SpongeBob.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at the faux try, South,
Yes.
that's also coming down. And that also is showing that there's likely a downward movement in manufacturing activity and, of course, construction spending, which is also easing as well. The other honorable mention we have to mention is going to be around durable good orders or new orders overall. We're looking at durable good orders. We saw that there was updated for the most recent month of June and saw that there was support for that 1.9% growth that came in for this month. And that came from the wild, the volatile. Remember when we talked about that? Defense spending.
Oh, yeah.
Christian.
Christian.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Crazy.
I can see it in
I
his
mean,
eyes.
I'm a crazy cool guy.
Crazy cool guy.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at that, that increased by over 80% in the month, defense spending. This is something that goes into the GDP, so could have bumped it up ever so slightly, but also shows that there is a lot more strength in some areas, not the private sector, in durable goods spending, and that can't really be depended on for upcoming activity because it's wild and volatile.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to do for this episode of Economy Lately. But of course, watch out for these certain indicators next week. Coming up, we're going to have updates around unemployment rate, non-farm payrolls, and the participation rate. Watch these closely to see if your people are working more jobs, a sign that more people need more money. We'll jump into those trends and so much more content on the next episode of Economy Lately. South, they're here.